what up, what up, what up, YouTube? How you doing today? This is me, Robert Brown of the Rob Report, Bob TV, and I guess I'm live, so I'm testing this thing out. So let's get to the news of the day. Here we go. Pete Buttigieg, Pete Booty they call him, the mayor of South Bend has clearly looked like he ended his campaign. Now I can't say I'm sad about this news. I'm actually happy that this is happening because dude is a snake, man. Mayor Pete ended his campaign today. From the start of this particular campaign season, Pete Buttigieg really wasn't a thing. I don't know why people was trying to make a big issue out of Pete Buttigieg. Pete Booty they call him, or Pete Booty I call him. I tell people to try to judge a person based on his record. Get out his TV image of what they tell you a politician is clearly. I recently put on my Facebook group how Pete Buttigieg was clearly taking his ideas from Obama. They're trying to shape this guy to be gay Obama. And this ain't got nothing to do with LGBTQ community, who really wasn't feeling him also. But this clearly was a fabrication of the Democratic Party, that we had a black, we finally had black Obama. Let's try a Latino Obama. Well, Castro dropped out. Well, let's try female Obama, the black version, half Hindu, whatever. Kamala Harris, that didn't work. So they tried everything. So this was their last shot. Let's try gay Obama. Well, gay Obama didn't work, even though he dressed like him, even though he tried to use that perpendicular talk like him, even though he tried to mimic him with hand gestures and everything, even took words from Obama, plagiarizing him in a bunch of speeches. You probably saw the YouTube video, went viral. It still didn't work. And even though he sold his soul out over and over again to the corporate structure. Now, understand about Pete. I made a statement that said Pete Booty had Pete Booty, they call him, had a, I know y'all saying, Pete Booty, they call him. I know y'all said that, look, I mentioned to you, Pete had a lot of money. Well, according to the average person, yeah. But honestly speaking, Pete Buttigieg don't have money. Pete Buttigieg, if you do your research, his husband is a teacher. They barely made $200,000 together. Him as a politician, mayor of South Bend, a sucky one at that, a crappy one that did whatever he could to pretend to be the friend of black people, all to move them out of their neighborhoods and put up these brand new elaborate residences and to revitalize the area and literally push black people out and poor whites out of that community into areas that it's just not good there. And when it comes to policing, it's just not good. Pete Buttigieg finally had to detach himself from that and just to get off his seat. The bottom line is Pete Buttigieg was not a good mayor. He used the people of South Bend to bring in corporations, to develop a corporate infrastructure, to bring money into the community, not to aid the people who were there before he made mayorship, but it actually helped bring out the more wealthy into the community of South Bend, Indiana. And he figured, because I transformed this area, let's use this as a strategy to see what we can do on a national scale. So he tried to run for DNC chair. Lost that. Now I'm going to come back to DNC chair because this is where Pete is going to end up going. Well, I believe he's going to end up going. So he tried the DNC chair thing. That didn't work. He got beat there. Matter of fact, he didn't get beat there. Obama put his finger on the scale, and we know what happened with that one. So here's what's going to happen with Pete. Now that they say he's out of the race, but let me go ahead and see if I can pull this up. because it's very telling of the story. So give me a moment. All right, let me see if I can pull up this story. All right, so Pete Buttigieg is dropping out of the 2020 Democratic race. Now, this came at 6:10 and 7:51. Now, word on the street is he already dropped out. But according to CNBC Market, it said he's still he's dropping out. He haven't dropped out yet. Democratic Pete Buttigieg is dropping out of the 2020 presidential primary race as a senior campaign aide told CNBC. He is flying to South Bend, Indiana, where he served as mayor for 2 terms to make the announcement. Now, my question is, will he go back to being mayor, or will they make him DNC chair, or did Joe Biden work the deal that if he dropped out, he'll give him a cabinet position, or maybe VP, to try to hold on to the gay vote, which he don't have. He definitely ain't got the black vote. He barely got some white votes. So his campaign is really not going anywhere. The Indiana Democratic waged an unlikely campaign that saw a little-known mayor overpower governors and United States senators in the race for the party nomination. He overpowered, really? He overpowered? All right, well, let me tell you something. It wasn't overpower. Let me tell you something, guys. We targeted Kamala Harris, especially in the black community. We targeted her and we pushed her out the race. Cory Booker had nothing but platitudes and latitudes and beatitudes and all that kind of stuff. He didn't have nothing, so he ultimately dropped out of the race. So the only reason Mayor Pete was in is because he stayed in is because he is a good debater, and he put all his money in Indiana and Iowa and New Hampshire just to see how far he can go. Millionaires helped his campaign, gave him all the money he could to stay in this race. He literally slutted himself out. Didn't take him long. Took Joe Biden 30, 40 years, as he said, to start slutting out. This guy slutted out from the jump start, from the gate, because he wasn't building a grassroots movement like he said he was doing. His decision to drop out of the race comes after former Vice President Joe Biden won a crushing victory in South Carolina. It's not that crushing, but we'll talk about that later on in my little 20 for 20 marathon that I'm doing. A crushing victory in South Carolina primary on Saturday, re-energizing the campaign. No, it has not re-energized Jack. That had flagged in the first 3 nomination contests in Iowa and New Hampshire and Nevada. Look, let me tell you something. We'll get back to this later. South Carolina was do or die for Joe Biden. If he didn't win South Carolina, he would be dropping out today too. He had to win that. It was do or die. Joe Biden did not put all his money in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada because he knew he wasn't going to win. So it was smart for his advisors to tell him, put your bet, let me stop. Put it all on the line in South Carolina, and hopefully you'll get a bump in the poll, and we can get Pete's donors to start donating to your campaign. Let's try to advise Elizabeth Warren and Elizabeth Warren and I can't even think of her name, Amy Klobuchar, to stay in the race, hoping that they can really put a dent in Bernie Sanders, because you're not going to win their state. If they don't win, you're not going to win their state. Bernie Sanders is going to win, but maybe they can put a dent in Bernie where that if for some reason you do win a lot of states, it won't look as bad if they win their state. So let's keep them in with a chance that they may win their state, because if they dropped out now, ain't no way Joe Biden's going to get a victory in Massachusetts or Minnesota, Eminem. So I think Biden is really doing some dealing. So let me get myself back up here. Give me a moment. Trying to learn how to do this loud thing, guys. Trying to get back on this loud thing, learn how to do loud things. So thanks to you guys. The lighting is good. Everything's good. I appreciate it. But no, I really believe Joe Biden is doing political bargaining, willing and dealing. He's good at this. All right, Pete Buttigieg, you need to drop out, bro, because you're not going anywhere with this thing. It's time to go. But let's make a deal. You drop out. I'll take on your donors. Maybe you endorse me. I'll put you in my cabinet. Where? I don't know. Now, as far as Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar, I need you guys to stay in, because if you drop out, it's going to make me look bad, because Bernie Sanders is going to win y'all state in a landslide. He's going to kill me, and I don't need that in your state. I need the numbers to kind of get, I need the numbers to where at least I can get 1 or 2 delegates. You probably get 1 or 2, and Bernie get the most. But if you dropped out, Bernie's going to blow me out in that area, and he's going to get all the delegates, and I need all the help I can get. So stay in the game until Tuesday is over with. Then we can readjust from there. So that's where we at there. So let me go back. Give me a moment. His decision to drop out of the race come after former Vice President Joe Biden won a crushing victory. Like I said, it's not that crushing. It was Bernie didn't get out the vote when it Bernie didn't spend time with the black community like he should have. He sent a surrogate. So I'm going to talk about that later. 4 things Bernie Sanders did. If he would have did, it would, even though he still probably would have lost South Carolina because it was expected, he could have gained more delegates if the numbers were closer. And one of them is you didn't spend the quality time that you needed to in South Carolina. Maybe your energy wasn't really invested there, and you wanted to invest it other places. I can understand, but you cannot neglect the conservative blacks that will not vote Republican, but would have voted for you if you'd have made yourself a better option than Biden. They're too familiar with Biden and Obama, and all Biden had to do was keep saying Obama now and Obama now, Obama now and Obama now. I can't even say. Try saying that 5 times real fast. That's how he got that base out, and Bernie wasn't. He didn't get the vote out in South Carolina. He didn't go down there and spend quality time with those people. And I said it over and over again. Well, you're going to end up losing black votes, Bernie Sanders. Not only is you don't have a black agenda, not only are you not trying, you're blowing people off with the reparation issue and acting like you didn't hear them and stuff like that. Bad enough on that situation. And I understand you try to get reparations for your people and you lost a couple of times and now you're sour and you don't think you can do it. And to me, that's still not an excuse. You still try because you need these black people on your side. I mean, you can't don't let every vote count. Don't neglect us to get the Latino vote or to get the gay vote. Spend quality time with us because we will really go out there and vote for you in huge numbers if you show yourself worthy of our vote. Don't assume you're going to get it. Come and earn it. Your platform, yeah, you got a great platform, but it's more than just about your platform. People say it's known, and this is John Maxwell, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. Black people don't want it. We know you got a good agenda. Spend some time with us and tell us how we fit. We need you to show that you're there for us instead of just saying you're there. And Nina Turner and you can have Nina Turner come out, Ike Turner, God rest his soul, from the dead, whatever. You got is he dead? You can have Nina Turner, Tina Turner, all of them come out. That's still not enough when it comes to black people. You can have Killer Mike, you can have Public Enemy, Chuck D. You have to go out there and spend time with those people, and that's one of the reasons why you didn't get enough blacks out there to vote for you, which could have got your numbers closer to Biden. It wouldn't have been such a blowout, and you could have gained more delegates, but I get it. There's not really much for me there. Let's just let Biden have that because my race is in California. My race is in Texas and Minnesota and all that stuff. Bruh, no, you can't do that. Every state have to matter. That's why Hillary Clinton lost to Trump. Now, Biden renewed momentum would make it difficult for Buttigieg to win over moderate voters moving forward in Super Tuesday. It also caused some financial trouble. In the wake of Biden's victory, bundlers working for his campaign were able to lure some donors who had been backing Buttigieg. I just said that. During his long shot bid, Buttigieg outperformed expectation, assembling what a point was a substantial war chest and building out a vast national operation. Buttigieg, the first openly gay major presidential contender, scored a narrow delegate edge over Senator Bernie Sanders in the Iowa caucus and finished a strong second place in New Hampshire. No, CNBC, it evened up now when it came to delegates. So no, Bernie won that. Bernie won 4 in a row. Or is it 3? In a row. But the one-time candidate for chair of DNC committee ultimately failed to sustain his campaign momentum and ran into difficulty attracting the support of blacks and other minority voters. This became clear in Nevada caucus, where he finished a distant third, placing only 2% of the black vote. In South Carolina, where he collected 3% of the black vote and finished in fourth. Buttigieg has predicted that wins in Iowa and New Hampshire would boost his support in the more diverse states that followed, but the outcome did not materialize. Buttigieg's showing in Nevada and South Carolina muddied potential paths to victory for the millennial Afghanistan war veteran ahead of Super Tuesday on March 3rd, where 14 states will host contests that collectively award a third of the race's total delegates. Now, early on Sunday, Buttigieg was pressed on NBC Meet the Press about his decision to stay in the race by host Chuck Todd. So later on, I'm going to be showing that. Every day we're in this campaign is a day that we have reached a conclusion that pushing forward is the best thing we can do for the country and for the party, Buttigieg said. This coming Super Tuesday contest have escalated pressures on candidates who are underperforming in state surveys to drop from the contest. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar have resisted those calls, though. Warren campaign released a memo on Sunday describing the Democratic National Convention in July as the final play for the campaign and committing to fight for delegates for as long as it could until then. An aide to Klobuchar told CNBC shortly after Buttigieg departed from the race became known that the moderate lawmaker was not planning to drop out anytime soon. Klobuchar is attending an event in Minnesota Sunday evening. The state will be among those to vote on Tuesday. Now, that was the article from CNBC. Now, here's my take. Buttigieg knew exactly his path. He's not going to win. He knew he wasn't going to win. He tried this mess with the app and everything in Iowa, and we knew it was foul play. We knew his, connections to the app and the simple rigging of the delegates. There were some people like Tulsi Gabbard who got a few delegate counts, and all of a sudden it disappeared off the app and went to Pete. We realized that of all people, Deval Patrick got some delegates. How in the world he got delegates, I don't know. But it ended up Bernie's, and then it ended up going to Deval Patrick. What happened to those delegates? So it's so much sham in that people already had a bad taste about Pete Buttigieg, and it even got worse. I mean, it's like somebody poured bleach, rutabaga, and dishwasher liquid in your mouth at the same time with that one bad decision of Pete Buttigieg and his app. So he was done. He was done. He wasn't going to win New Hampshire. He poured a lot into those particular areas and hoping to get a bump. And then the media played into that mess hoping to get a bump, just like the media is trying to upplay Joe Biden's win in South Carolina, saying it's the rebirth of Joe Biden. Oh, he got another burst of energy now thanks to South Carolina. It's one state, dog. One conservative state that we probably will not win in the general election. And the only person that's going to be able to carry that state in the general election is Bernie Sanders. Why? Because of the platform that Republicans may lean toward. Because the independents may lean toward that platform. It ain't got nothing to do with Bernie Sanders. It's the platform he's running on. That's a winning platform. And for those people going around saying, oh, he's going to mess up the ticket going down. Yeah, it will mess up the ticket going down if the ticket don't run on that platform. If the ticket want to continue to go the centric way or centrist way or the right-wing Democratic way or the borderline lightweight Republican way, of course the down ballot is going to suffer. But it's no different. Bernie Sanders know how to go out and get people elected. Hillary Clinton took money from the down ballot and put it in her own pocket. And you don't think the DNC ain't going to oblige in that when it comes to Joe Biden? Or you don't think Mayor Bloomberg is going to use his money to buy up the down ballot ticket, thinking that they're going to support him? Get out of here with this stuff, man. But here's, Super Tuesday is coming up in a couple of days, and Joe Biden is playing bargaining. He's doing the art of the deal. And quite frankly, it's smart for him to do. Let's convince Pete. Pete, look at your numbers. I'm quite sure not only Joe talked to Pete, but the DNC, Tom Perez, the crypt keeper from Tales of the Crypt, he looked just like that dude. I'm quite sure they went and talked to Pete and said, look, Pete, there's no path forward for you. It's done, son. It's a wrap. We're not going to support you. And that is how vicious and how ruthless the Democratic National Committee is. Is they will go to you and tell you, we're not funding your campaign. Matter of fact, we're going to go against your campaign, and we're going to tell your donors to stop donating to you. And guess what? The donor's going to listen. So Pete had no choice but to step down. Oh, we'll give you a cabinet position maybe. You come out and you endorse Joe Biden. He's not going to endorse Bernie Sanders, and even though the LGBTQ community, a lot of them really lean toward Bernie Sanders, he's not endorsing Bernie Sanders. It's not going to ever happen. Now, when it comes to his voters, since we are doing this polling like it's ranked choice vote polling, where we ask people, what's your second choice? A lot of his supporters' second choice is Bernie Sanders. But when it comes to Pete Buttigieg, his second choice is not Bernie Sanders. Pete Buttigieg loathes Bernie Sanders. He don't like Bernie Sanders. He is not a friend of Bernie Sanders. And I get it. I get it. He's a corporate centric. He's making less than $200,000 as mayor, and his husband is a teacher, and they want to climb up the social ladder. They want to climb up that DNC bubble ladder. They want to be so far in that bubble, it's ridiculous. They want to be part of the DC circuit. So what I predict is going to happen is he's not going to get a cabinet position. I think Tom Perez is going to step down after this election. And since Pete Buttigieg did run for DNC chair the last go around, I believe that Obama and everybody mama in the DNC is going to push Pete Buttigieg to be the DNC chair. And oh God, you thought Tom Perez was horrible and Debbie Wasserman Schultz is horrible. Pete Buttigieg as the DNC chair is going to be horrible. And I really believe that they're going to do this before the general election. Just like they replaced Debbie Wasserman Schultz, they're going to replace Tom Perez. I believe Tom Perez is going to step down before the convention. This is just my belief. I'm allowed to believe that. You don't have to believe it. And they're going to put in Pete Buttigieg. The other smart strategy of Joe Biden, Amy, Liz, even though y'all should have dropped out, don't drop out. Stay in. I need you. I need you. It may be a cabinet position for you two. Stay in till Super Tuesday. Because we know that if both of you drop out, and you really should drop out because you lost 4 in the road, you need to go. But if you stay in, you'll stop the bleeding from me. Because if you drop out, Bernie Sanders is going to beat me in Massachusetts. He's going to beat me in Minnesota. And I don't need 2 states automatically going to him. I need to make it harder for him in those 2 states. It's going to be a blowout pretty much in Tuesday. This is my prediction. I say Joe Biden would probably get maybe Alabama. But I don't see Joe Biden coming out with a substantial number of states and a substantial number of delegates. At the most, 4. At the least, at least 3. That's just my prediction because this country has gone so far. This country is not a country of party anymore. People don't care about parties. You look at the majority of people that are voting for the first time or veteran voters. A lot of them have left parties and decide to go independent. The independent numbers outweigh Republicans and Democrats. And if you're not getting the independents, you're not going to win. Now, we got black people that vote in the high 90s and put people over barely put people over, like Doug Jones. And yet these guys still turn their back and stab us in the back and then vote with Trump. And here we are. And James Clyburn, I'm going to talk about that later. Black people of South Carolina, you're holding this man up as a hero when he spit in your face and laugh at you when you mention a black agenda or reparations. Video footage by Mr. Fowler shows James Clyburn saying, you lost your mind. You ain't getting no cash payment. You might as well just forget about that because it's going to either be done our way. It's not going to be done your way. And just just like Bernie Sanders, blowing people off instead of sitting there having the conversation, instead of trying to do all the talking, listen sometimes. And that's one of the reasons why Bernie Sanders didn't get the numbers that he should have got in South Carolina, because he didn't go there and just close his mouth and listen. And then you talk and figure out how we can work things out. Stop sending people out to do your fight. Some fights are not for you to send other people to fight. You have to go yourself sometimes. And that is the reason why Hillary Clinton lost the Rust Belt, because she sent everybody and their mama out to campaign for her in the Rust Belt, and she didn't want to do. She didn't want to go out there and get cow dung on her nice Prada shoes going out there to farm country. So I'm done with this particular segment. I'm live. Let me see who's up here. You know, I'm trying to get used to this live thing. Well, just to let you know what I'm doing, and I got this 20 by 20 program that I'm going, thanks to some of you guys who really helped me out to get this thing taken care of, and now I'm back live. I really appreciate you guys for that. We're going in the second phase where the primaries are coming up in New York City, New York State, and I got to get out. I find out that once you hit the threshold of 10,000, thanks to you guys, I got access to the YouTube studio here in New York City, and I can, I think, by the hour, get one of their elaborate studios. One day I'm going to put it up here, man. They got some nice studios, and it don't cost a dime. So I'll be able to take up my laptop and my microphone and meet them in one of these studio sets and talk to people who are running for the office like AOC, Melinda Katz, maybe Bernie Sanders, maybe Joe Biden, people you don't like. I want to talk to them. I want to talk to them. So what I'm doing in this 20 by 20, if anybody who donates $20 to this campaign, this is not for everybody, but anybody who donates $20 to the Bob TV channel at paypal.me/BobTVNYC, all caps, donate the $20, but send a video of the question that you want me to ask. And my goal is to set up one of those studios, meet them in one of those studios. They got one look like a diner. So meet them at at a studio session, pull out my laptop, my camera, and my mic, and really talk to them. Instead of me asking the question, you ask the question that you want me to ask these candidates via video. So Joe Blow, who donated $20, he'll be able to send his video and say, hey, Joe Biden, you admitted with your own mouth that you got the guy fired. You know, how do you explain yourself for that? And let him explain. Joe Biden's not going to talk to me. Bernie Sanders is not going to talk to me. Okay, I'm not at that level. But hey, all things are possible to those who believe. So who knows? I may catch him on the go walking out, and I might ask one of your questions. So for those who donate to help me get this laptop so I can go on the road for, I live outside of New York City, and the primary is coming up in April. It just don't make sense. I need to get out there with my laptop, my camera, and my microphone and go to work for you. And if you got a question you want to ask, you know, once you donate it there, send your video to the website, bobtvnyc.com. Send the video there. I'll put it up. I'll upload it. Let them ask the question through the laptop to them and let them answer your questions, because I'm not that good of an interviewer. So I'll let you do the interviewing. So, and maybe I'll get good as I go along. But that's available in the 20 by 20 program. 20 people to donate $20, 20 questions. I'll ask every person that I interview either live on here, via Skype, or whatever, or I meet them one-on-one at a coffee shop, donut shop. You ask the question, I'll force them to answer it. It don't matter. I'll double down on the question if I have to. I'm not a punk. I'm not going to ask softball questions. And if you ask the hardball questions, I'm going to reinforce that hardball question. I'm not going to let them slide. That's just me. I don't care if they don't come on again or not. But I want your question to be answered. So that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, let me see who's up here. Kim Harden, thank you. I appreciate you being up here. How you doing today? Thomas B. up here. I wonder where will all the Wall Street money will go. It's going to go to Joe Biden. Now, after Joe's out, who knows? Because Bernie Sanders already made it clear that I'm not taking your money. But we're going to talk about that later. I still got some issues with, I'm still holding Bernie feet to the fire on a whole lot of issues. Look, people, I know you like Bernie, but there's certain things that I still got to question him on. I don't let no politician get a free ride with me. None. I got an issue, I'm going to come at you with that issue. Look, I've been married twice. My wives had an issue. They would wake me up in the middle of my sleep and talk to me about it. And I'm trying to go to sleep. So I'm not going to let these people sleep and slide by without dealing with issues of their voting record. I'm going to bring it up. And to me, there's certain things, not an excuse. It's just not an excuse. So, and I'm bringing that to every politician via to you, and you guys giving me the opportunity to do what I need to do. What's up, Angeline R? Appreciate you and your support. I really do. Make sure you send a video, okay? And I can answer your question. Martial law puppet. Good riddance. Bloomberg is next. Yeah, he's next. Joe Biden's going to try to hold on to Klobuchar. I think Bloomberg's money is going to hang. His money is long, okay? But we going after him. I got my buddy. Shout out to my boy Gerald Montgomery on my buddy on Facebook, my coworker, and he's a diehard Democrat, and he's riding hard for Joe. And me and him kind of go at it, and I'm letting him know this is it for Joe. Joe got his last ride, and it's over with. You'll probably get about 3 states. So me and him go back and forth over this stuff. But Bloomberg money is long, and he got enough money power to stay in there till after Super Tuesday. But we, as people, have to let Bloomberg know that your money ain't going nowhere. And we have to really blast them on Facebook, blast them on YouTube, blast them everywhere you go. I live in New York City. Let me tell you something, since I got you up here. This is basically what I do right now. I am trying to work with some organizations overnight to pay the bills, keep the bills paid here. But I got a vision for this. And you guys play a part in this vision. That's why I'm talking about partnership. You have a part. I want shows. I got a friend of mine that does comedy. I want him to have a weekly comedy bid up here. I mean, I got people who I want to put on. So I got an opportunity to work for Bloomberg. So somebody came to me and said, Rob, you should come work for the Bloomberg office. And you can work in our communications department. And you can help with our social media campaign. He's paying $35 an hour. Full-time, $35 an hour. First of all, I don't want to work during the days because this is what I want to do during the days. I don't mind working overnight. Nothing for me, number one, there at nighttime. Number two, that $35 sound good when you got bills. But like Martin Lawrence said when he saw Pam when she was dressed all sexy, I don't eat no pork. She fine and all, but I don't eat no pork. I don't eat no pork, man. You can't throw this money at me and expect me to do it. Yeah, I got bills. Yeah, I got needs. But I ain't selling myself out for no money. And a lot of you people thinking I'm pro Bernie Sanders. Look, I like the Bernie Sanders platform. But I'm real strong on my particular position. I'm not just easily giving my support to anybody right now, especially when we're still in the middle of a freaking race. We're not even in a general election yet. I need to hold your feet to the fire. No, if you support what I believe in, then you're still going to have to earn my vote. I have specific needs in my community that need to be addressed, and what I look like ignoring those needs. I need to put it in the face of these politicians. Just like a lot of us are for Medicare for all, to some of us, that's a no-go. If you're not for Medicare, I'm not voting for you. Why I can't be that about this thing over here? So you can't put me in a bunch. And just because I will always praise you on doing something right. And I always will get at you on doing something wrong. I get at myself when I do something wrong. Y'all get at me when I do something wrong. It's just the way life is. Either I receive it or I reject it. It is what it is. So I just couldn't take the Bloomberg deal. $30 an hour, 40 hours a week. It's okay money. But I just could not do it, man. I could not do it. So, you know, no, I told the dude, I said, look, I'm coming after you, boy. I'm going to bring up every wrong thing he did. I'm going to bring up his horrible record. I'm coming after him. I come after every presidential candidate, and I blast out their record because they need to make it. They need to answer for it. That's why I wish Tulsi Gabbard was still in these debates, because she will bring up your record and answer for it. I'll call her out on her record on some issues, because you have to answer for it. Explain to us, why did you do this? What reason did you do this? And what excuse that you have? And is it a valid excuse, or is it lame? Because half of it is lame. And still, you could have did something else. There's always a will. There's always a way. So anyway, let me get off this. Let me see who else up here. Okay, we got Amon Gag. I can't pronounce your name. Appreciate you being on the channel. Ms. Williams. Pressure from Bloomberg camp for Pete to drop out. Well, I don't think it was a Bloomberg thing. I think it may be, but I really think it's a Joe Biden thing. Joe Biden need Pete to drop out more than Bloomberg. I personally believe Bloomberg is a, what they call it, a plant. I believe Bloomberg is a plant for Trump. And I believe the DNC don't mind Bloomberg being a plant for Trump, because Bloomberg being in a race is a yes to capitalism. That's all it is. So here's the deal with Bloomberg, and I was going to talk about that in another segment. Bloomberg being in a race, his money is long. He'll be able to go as long as his money is. You realize every day, every time he spend money, that's tax write-off, number one. Number two, he make more. When you're a billionaire, you can't spend your money as fast as you can make it. You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes 5 minutes. So that's a lot of money. His money is making money whether he use it or not. So why not spend some here? Why not buy off this politician? Why not put $1 million in Stacey Abrams' campaign so she can love me for it? Why not do it? His money is long, so he'll be able to go for a long time. But let's say Joe Biden drop out. Bernie Sanders is in this race. Well, if they don't rig this election against Bernie Sanders, which they probably will, let's say Bernie Sanders get enough delegates to win. You know what he's going to do, Bloomberg? He's going to run independent. He have never said in any debate that I will not run independent. He claims he's going to support the nominee. There's nothing stopping him from running independent. He's run independent before. He ran independent in New York. He will do it. And what it would do, it will help the Democrats keep the socialists from winning, because the Democrats will rather have Trump for another 4 years to beat up on him to continue to raise money than have Bernie Sanders for 4 years, because Bernie Sanders is going to dump on the Republicans and the Democrats. It's just the way it is, whether you like Bernie Sanders or not. And I always tell you, my thing is, I will always tell you the truth whether I like it or not. So I really don't care whether you like it or not, because sometimes I don't like it. Yes, they would rather have Donald Trump than Bernie Sanders. So either way, whether Bloomberg get the nomination through hook and crook, or whether Bernie Sanders outright win this thing, Bloomberg run independent, take a lot of the Democrat votes away and take some of the Republican votes, and at the end of the day, his buddy, his friend, long-term friend of 40 years, his hangout partner, his fellow billionaire, Trump will win this race. And all will be fine and dandy with Bloomberg. And at the end of the day, the Democratic Party will settle for another 4 years of Bloomberg than a brand new 4 years of a Sanders presidency. They will rather have that. It's more pros than cons when it comes to Trump staying in office for the DNC and the Democratic Party. I'm telling you, this is a win-win situation for the Democratic Party to have Mike Bloomberg. Number one, he'll fund the other people to run for office. He done bought out the DNC because Hillary Clinton is not there no more. And he's pretty much bought out the race. And he'll tell you that in your face. And that's that. So I'm almost done, guys. Thanks for the donation. Who donated it? Look X, thank you for staying true and keep holding these candidates accountable. I will appreciate it. Just want to advise people, I really appreciate your donation. But do it through the PayPal next time, because YouTube will take $7. They take half of any donation. Sometimes they take more. And that's why I'm always talking about the paypal.me/BobTVNYC in all caps, because the money go directly to Bob TV NYC. YouTube, they're pimps, man. I'm telling you, I can't stand it, man. People give out of their heart. They appreciate you. They show their appreciation. Like, look, LXK. I can't pronounce your name. I'm sorry. You did that out of kindness of your heart, and I appreciate it. But what happened is YouTube probably takes 7 out of that. And that's not fair to you, and it's not fair to me. Especially not fair to you. That's why I tell everybody, always give to the PayPal account. All right, done. I see my nephew up here, Surreal. Sorry, my computer keep jumping. Let's see. Where my nephew at? Where he at? Yeah, so go check out my nephew, Cyrillic Studios. He has a YouTube channel, young brother, gifted hip-hop artist, great political commentator, and he's young. Go check out his channel. He's doing big things. Thank you, Irene. Yep, Debbie was the devil nephew. I appreciate it. That's my nephew, by the way. I call him nephew. P. Craig, I thank you for being on the channel. Karen M, always on the channel. I appreciate you. P. Craig said, just because P's father was a Marxist professor and personal friend of Cornel West doesn't mean he was a good father. Yeah, I mean, Cornell said that he was a good guy. His dad was a good guy, but Pete is not, and Pete is opposite. And we all know Pete, when he was a kid, he looked up to Bernie Sanders. But money gets you, man. Money gets you. And that the wine caves and the opportunity. And I'm sorry to say this, but how can I say this? 'Cause I don't want to offend anybody. I look at a couple of the brothers in the gay community. They stay true to their advocacy. They stay true to their activism. That's why I try to fight hard to stay true to my activism of my black community, but yet I push my activism as a union organizer, and I always try to reach out to the homeless. Matter of fact, that's where I'm trying to do a lot of my own work outside of here, is to deal with the homeless population, dealing with the mental issues, getting them off the streets, getting them to working again, getting to building a life for themselves, and get them out of that, because being homeless is not good. And, so it's nothing wrong with being true to your activists, but there's so many in the community, like Jonathan Capehart, got married his husband, and, to each his own when it comes to color. If that person y'all fall in love, that's y'all thing. But you totally start going elitist, and you forget about the communities that you came from. Same thing with Don Lemon. I could have sworn Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo was gonna get married, man, because they always kissy, lovey, man. But Don Lemon got his husband, and now he's in that elite bubble. So guess who's next? Pete Buttigieg. Look, I'm saying this, no matter where your advocacy is, stay true to your advocacy. Don't sell out. I ain't doing no $30-some an hour for Mike Bloomberg, no matter how much money, how much I could use it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not selling out. I gotta stay true. So I'm just saying, stay true to your activism. Your activism it makes you who you are politically. It makes you hold people accountable. I mean, I used to get mad at the LGBT community and how their needs are surpassing the black community needs, but then I look at how they market it. And now you got stores in New York City, when it's that time of the year, they got the rainbow sign up. Now, I'm a biblical Christian man. The rainbow sign has a different meaning, but they use the rainbow sign, and it means many colors. It doesn't matter. We're all one, right? We're all one big rainbow, right? Those signs are in front of every store now. I never seen store, and that's to their credit on how they really fought for their rights. To the point now, these corporations are really gonna be behind them. But I don't see the red, black, and green. I don't see nothing for the ADOS community in stores. A lot of us left our true activism. But let me say that for another, I'm going too long. Let me say that for another segment. A lot of us left our activism, and one of the worst things we can do is leave our activism to go participate in other people's activism. You come together collectively to deal with certain agendas as a collectively, but never forget your main activism. Stay with your main activism. Don't neglect your main activism to go run and support another activism. No, this is where my main activism is. I'll support your activism, but I'm not leaving this. I'm staying with this, man. This is my home. This is my community. I'm staying here. And unfortunately, Pete Buttigieg, he's gone to the wine caves and to the big money elites, and got to the point where the LGBTQ community, QT community, couldn't even fit to support this guy because that's how bad off he was. They were waiting for their first gay president, and the first gay president ended up being a corporate elitist. And he'll do anything for the dollar. Anything. Selling out and everything. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate Salt Shaker, Jake Kaneen, Kennan. If I mess up your name, I'm sorry. I'm from the South, from deep country boy. I'll butcher your name in a moment. Okay, but anybody else, I appreciate you for taking time to be on this. This was supposed to be 15 minutes, but I'm back doing live. Thank you to everybody who participated in the 25 by 25 thing I was doing, and thank you for everybody that's participating in the 20 by 20. Again, PayPal.me/BobTV NYC, all caps. Anybody who donate $20 or more, if you got a question you want me to ask a politician, send the video to my email on BobTVNYC or Robert B. Brown 0000, that's 4 zeros, at gmail.com. Upload your video there, and I'll put it on my stick. And when I meet with these candidates at the New York primary, I'm going to ask every candidate your question, because your question most of the time should be the same question you ask any candidate. So that's what I'm going to do. It's something new, something I've never done, and I'm excited. I'm a little nervous about it, but you participating in it with me makes it less nervous. So put it out there. And I know some questions I'm going to ask, because look, what you going to do for my community? All that don't mean nothing. Tell me, what's your plan for my community? All right, how you going to close the wealth gap? Tell me your plan to close the wealth gap. Because until the wealth gap is closed, there's no equal justice for all. None. Anyway, I'm Rob Brown with the Rob Report. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace. Peace, peace, peace. I'm still trying to learn this, get back into this thing. Let me see if I got it. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Let me see if I got this thing. I guess I don't.